Hello and welcome to this very special edition of Startup Central. I'm Nayantara Rai. This is your one-stop destination for anything that has to do with startups, technology, innovation, disruption. Today, I'm coming to you from the India Economic Summit being hosted by the World Economic Forum, and I've got a very special guest with me, the Chief Executive Officer of Coursera. Now, Coursera, of course, is an app that makes it possible for people like me who didn't even have the guts to apply to Stanford, let alone the grades, actually cherry pick the courses that I might want to learn in my 30s. And the man who set it up and founded it, joining us here in New Delhi, Jeff, thank you so much. Welcome to India.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So let's talk about Coursera. I want to first begin by asking you, how did you think about it? Is it because you didn't make it to the school of your choice? I know I'm being cheeky.
No. Well, it was actually started by two Stanford professors.
Yeah.
I am the CEO,
Okay.
but here's the thing. I went to Stanford as an undergrad, and I also got my MBA from Stanford. So
Okay.
I feel like I know the founders pretty well through that. But the basic idea is that these two professors kind of started Coursera based on what happened at Stanford 7 years ago. They put some very popular computer science courses up. Hundreds of thousands of people around the world came to take these Stanford courses, and they thought we should start a company to make high quality education available to everyone in the world. And that's really how Coursera started.
So when when they had this dream for Coursera, and now you're the Chief Executive Officer, do you get asked this a lot that I'm going to spend all this time, I'm going back to school sort of, just to do the credit I want to do, but is it going to be recognized?
I do. I mean, I think there's different reasons that people come to Coursera. Some people come to develop skills, whether or not they can
To
show
upskill.
Exactly, just to upskill. They say, I'm a software engineer. I would like to learn machine learning, and this is a great way to do it without applying to a university and going back to campus. Some people, though, come to Coursera to take full degrees. So we now have 15 degrees that our partners deliver on Coursera. The degree actually comes from the university, not Coursera. It's the same diploma as you would get if you were on campus. But these are degrees from University of Michigan, HEC Business School in Paris, University of Pennsylvania. Our first Ivy League degree is on Coursera. We have a University of London bachelor's degree in computer science. So if you're coming for a degree, then yes, that absolutely shows up as a college degree. And if you're coming for courses, sometimes you're just there to build skills.
And it's going to literally cost a small fraction of what you would normally pay.
Absolutely. You can see any one of the 3,600 courses all available on your mobile phone. You can watch these courses offline. You can download them and watch them when you're on the train or on the bus. And if you just want to watch the videos, it's free. If you want to get the certificate, you have to pay a small fee, $49.
$49, which is, like I said, a small fraction, a very small
Yes.
fraction. But tell me something, how difficult was it to get the universities on board? You're suddenly telling some of the world's best and most expensive universities to offer the best faculty for $49 a person.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I give it to Daphne Kohler, one of our founders. She really signed up many of the universities. We now have 170 of the top universities in the world. And in the early days, it was really, do you want to be part of this new movement? Importantly, in the early days, they were open courses that were not for credit, and that made it a little bit easier for universities and for faculty to jump on board. But now that we're doing degrees, it takes a little bit more time. We just announced 2 days ago our first relationship with an IIM Calcutta,
Okay.
which was the first IIM created in India. They're the first IIM or IIT to start working on Coursera. So we're really excited to have our first IIM on Coursera.
So
IIM Calcutta.
what are you going to get associated with IIM? What courses?
Yeah.
And
So what they do best is management science, and they do a lot on analytics. And so they're going to do a certificate program from IIM Calcutta on management science, and
Okay.
another one on supply chain analytics. And the neat thing about this is that so many Indians dream of going
I was
to
coming
an
to that.
IIM or an IIT. And some people said, no, their parents dream of them doing that.
Yeah,
but
they do.
The neat thing about these certificates, they'll be available to anyone with no admissions.
I'm still grappling my
Yes,
head around it
yes.
and remembering the dining table conversations that I had with my parents when it came to IIM. So it is indeed very exciting.
Yes.
But how do you make sure that those who will be taking the course actually are on the same field, that they're getting to understand what's going on?
Yeah, one of the neat things about the certificate programs and the degree programs is that they're actually taught by the professors at the university, like professors at IIM Calcutta, and they also have a live engagement piece where we use Zoom and Slack. You actually interact directly with the professors and with the TAs. You get real grades just like students in the degree program do. So it's really a much more collaborative and personalized virtual classroom where you get to engage with faculty and your classmates.
Is this the future of education?
I think it is. You know, we have many students now learning just online. But yesterday we announced something called Coursera for Campus.
Okay.
This will allow any university to work with Coursera. So in the last 7 years, only 170 of the most elite universities have been authoring on Coursera. What Coursera for Campus does is it allows any one of the 20,000 universities in the world, and there's 200 million students in these universities, any university can use Coursera courses, our partners' courses, and deliver them to students on campus. And so I think the future is definitely online learning. Even students on campus will be taking online courses.
So, you know, at least in the US, we do see the alumni being very proactive and with endowments. So are you seeing that on Coursera? Those who've taken the courses, maybe funding Coursera?
Well, you know, they don't fund Coursera. They certainly rave about it. But this point on alumni is really important. The neat thing about Coursera is it's available to anyone in the world. And so when a university uses Coursera for Campus, not only can they use existing courses on Coursera for their students, they can author their own private courses for their students for free. So all of our authoring tools are free for universities that use Coursera for Campus. And that means that they can also provide courses to their alumni, because everyone talks about lifelong learning, but keeping a learning relationship with your alumni is hard to do if they're spread around the world. Where with Coursera and Coursera for Campus, they can author for their alumni as well as their individual students on campus.
I want to ask you again, how do the university deans like you guys?
Well, I think they really like us. One of the reasons is, if you look at, just going back to the IIT IIM example, 15 million Indians per year apply. 1% of them get into IIMs and IITs.
Yeah.
So that's only 1.5 million people. They realize that they need to expand the capacity dramatically. The government under Prime Minister Modi, they want to take the percentage of students who start formal education after high school from 26% to 35% in just 5 years. That would require about 250 new universities.
Yeah.
So universities realize online learning is a great way to expand access and expand capacity. So I think a lot of the deans are very excited about online education.
Do you have competitors as yet?
We do. We have different competitors in different markets. Udemy is one of our competitors in the consumer market. There's a company in the States called 2U that does online degrees. I don't think there's really a competitor right now for Coursera for Campus. We're the only company that I know of that is really working to help universities go through digital transformation and upskill their faculty.
And tell me something, are you, like, I'm guessing you're funded, are you in the market for more fundraising? How's that going?
You know, I just closed a $105 million round in April. So we are not in the market for fundraising right now. It was a great round. We brought on four new investment partners. In total, Coursera has raised over $300 million now. So we're pretty well capitalized, and we feel like we've got a chance to really grow and provide great services to our customers.
What's the most popular course or degree on Coursera? I will let it out that I've been wanting to learn the one by Andrew Ng and artificial intelligence.
But so right now, if you look at degrees, our most popular degree is the University of London Bachelor's degree in Computer Science.
Okay.
We just launched it in 2019. It's a 3-year program because it's in the British system. It gives you a fully accredited Bachelor's of Computer Science. And of course, there's many computer science jobs out there. On the courses, there's a few top courses. Andrew Ng, AI for Everyone, a huge course. Another big one is Learning How to Learn by Barb Oakley. It teaches you how your brain works and how you can learn more quickly. And then another one, which is very popular, is called The Science of Well-Being, which really talks about how do you deal with, well, what's the biology of depression and anxiety, and what's a path, understanding the science of how your body works, what's the path to mental wellness and health.
So basically there's more emphasis on people signing up for science as opposed to liberal arts. I wanted to get a sense of that too.
Yeah, definitely. The biggest domains on Coursera are data science is number one, technology.
Because you do have it, that's why I was trying
We do. We have some of the best AI and deep learning and machine learning and courses in the world. We have a lot of courses on learning how to program. So one of our most popular courses in technology is from University of Michigan. It's called Programming in Python for Everyone.
Wow.
It's very popular. There's also a lot of business courses. So data science, technology, and business on Coursera. We have Wharton courses on entrepreneurship. They're very popular. With respect to the non-business technology and data science, we just launched healthcare. So we now have over 100 courses in healthcare. And increasing popularity are those mental wellness courses. A lot of people are looking for positive psychology, grit, resilience, communication, influencing skills. So those human skills are important
and
too.
have you done any analysis of at what age group you're seeing Coursera being more popular at?
Yeah, so globally.
Or at what stage of your career?
Absolutely. So globally, the typical age on Coursera is in the 30s. If you look at the learners who are getting degrees on Coursera, they're usually about 10 years older than the on-campus students studying for the same degree. So they're often on Coursera because they can't quit their jobs and move their families back to campus. When we look at India, the Indian population on Coursera is huge. We have about 4.8 million learners from India on Coursera. It's number 2 after the US. So the top 5 countries on Coursera are the US, followed by India, China, Mexico, and Brazil. And when we look at the Indian learners, they typically are taking more computer science than the global average. They're younger than the global average, and more of them are using education to further their employment goals, which is also higher than the average globally.
So I also want to ask you, one of the reasons that India will be popular, not just because it's in our DNA, but it's also because of the language. So what I wanted to ask you as well was, is that something you're looking at, maybe having different languages on Coursera?
We already do. So of the 3,600 courses on Coursera, we have a number of them in different languages, and many, hundreds of them are translated into multiple languages with subtitles. So we have 15 partners in Latin America, and they have Spanish language courses, over 400. We have language courses in Russian and Mandarin as well. I think what we've done with Abu Dhabi, the government of Abu Dhabi has hired us to train some of their government workers, and they've translated courses into Arabic, and I can imagine a number of courses being translated into Hindi and other kinds of languages.
So you've tied up with IIM Kolkata. It's the first IIM you've got on board. Can you share with us your India-specific plans?
Our plans are continued
It's the second largest diaspora, if I could call it that, on Coursera.
Absolutely. So a big one is just reaching more learners by having great mobile experience, making it very low cost, available offline. The second is having great content that really teaches the skills that people want to learn. IIM Calcutta is a good example of that. We now have over 50 businesses who are Indian corporations who are hiring Coursera to upskill their employees. And we now already have, even though we just launched it yesterday, we already have 10 Indian universities using Coursera for campus to offer blended learning to on-campus students.
And is that big, like going to corporations and getting them to upskill? Is that your biggest client?
We already have 2,000 companies around the world who are using Coursera to upskill their employees. 50 of them are in India. We expect that will grow rapidly. And I think also the Indian universities are looking to really do this blended learning for some of the more advanced skilling.
Would you only stay in university courses, and or is there, maybe you'll go down the chain too?
Well, we have university courses. We also have industry partners. So Google is one of our biggest authoring partners. They have over 50 courses on how to learn Google Cloud. We also have something called the Google IT Professional Certificate, which teaches you how to get a job in IT. IBM is one of our biggest authoring partners, and we just brought on AWS. So AWS is now putting on certification programs so that you can become a certified AWS cloud developer on Coursera.
I'm going to ask if you've heard of this particular entrepreneur, because we are very proud of him in India, and it's now a unicorn, which is Baiju.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yes.
What do you like? Have you tried it? Have you tried the app? I know Disney's interested.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet, but I've heard wonderful things. I mean, a lot of what Coursera requires, because we focus more on adult learners, but if young people don't get the basics of reading and writing and mathematics and science, they won't have the building blocks to take advantage of more advanced education when they get older. So I think that what Baiju is doing is really valuable, because skilling children who otherwise might not have good access to elementary school is incredibly important. So we're big fans of anyone doing great K-12 training.
And before I wind up, I just want to ask you one other question. Now, when you have the evolution of Coursera, and I'm sure it's only a matter of time, imitation is flattery, you'll see other apps, etc. come up. What is this going to do for universities' entire exclusive selection process, the application process?
I think that what's going to happen, and IIM Calcutta is a great example, it will still be very difficult to get into their on-campus program. And unless they build more buildings and hire a lot more faculty, it's going to be pretty limited. But by moving online with platforms like Coursera or others, these universities can really open up the access to their education to many, many more people. So I think that's going to happen. I think on campus, you'll have teachers teaching online as well. And these universities will open up their training to a world of learners, not just in India, but around the globe.
And with that, Jeff, I'd like to thank you and welcome to India again.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.